all white people are racist. So I put this up because I really want any white person in the room to know up front that this is what we're dealing with.
But I think there's a lot happening within our community alone, whether it's the policing of Black bodies throughout the country. It doesn't matter what geographic area you're in. Like people are emboldened in their white supremacy. They feel like they are entitled to be here, and all of the rest of us who helped build it, who helped to support this country, who have founded businesses and are going to school and paying tuition, we don't belong.
It's not going to be this coddling of white tears and what that looks like. We're not going to discuss, maybe some of us have worked it out. No, you're always going to be racist, actually.
Or other political interests that we have.
What do you think about all these white people calling the police on Black people for no goddamn reason?
Y'all are born into a life to not be human, and that's what y'all are taught to do, to be demons.
We have the Yale student, the Black woman graduate student in her dorm room, common area, getting the police called on her.
Falling asleep.
Yeah, like all of us do in school. Right. Absolutely.
That was like a scene out of Dare White People.
It was. So in this particular way, white people are all racist.
Black men getting arrested at Starbucks. Shakisha Clemens at the Waffle House, not just arrested, but dragged out of her clothing.
Sexually assaulted, I call it.
I would disagree.
But the president here, disagree.
Stuff like this, and the president took a long time. Hold on, Simone.
One of the problems with these hate groups like this is they assume mantles that start to pollute everything around it.
This is not just rhetoric. This is very real for people all over America. And I would suggest
that's an outrageous
that we have to, that's
you want
wrong
to keep
with
jumping
parts of
from
all over America. I'm not jumping to conclusions, sir. I'm being
another.
and now
Look at
someone's
even
dead.
how they got the permit. And can I finish, Simone? Will you just shut up for a minute?
Hold on.
And so then all
I'm
these
sorry.
all
Under
these
no
racists
circumstances do you get to speak to me in that matter. You should exhibit some decorum.
Can stay civil with how you. Hold on, guys. Both of you stop for a second. Simone, Simone,
and under no circumstances.
Ken and Simone, hold on a second.
So you
need to reset yourself and still be civil. That's not how you are.
When they keep interrupting you.
You let me do your job. I'll give you both chances. No.
Waffle House, one, you need to be accountable for this because they said that the officer acted appropriately, but also because the charges should be dropped against her.
This was a gathering of hate groups. That's what it was. And they can define themselves however they want. They're all outrageous, ridiculous.
2 Black men in New Jersey, for 8 years. A member for 8 years brought in a guy that had a guest pass. They were kicked out of the gym, and the police were called on them. A Black man in Memphis, Tennessee, real estate developer, scoping out a property that he was interested in buying. White woman calls the police on him. Jennifer Schultz, who's the white woman in Oakland.
I love her, though.
Why? Because now she's a meme?
That meme is so amazing. That meme is so amazing.
But it's bad. You called the police on an Oakland barbecue? That's what we're doing now?
That is crazy.
You mad because it's...
Well, they should have gave us some ribs.
Maybe she wanted to bring her potato salad like the SNL.
And I would posit that people in America clearly need to get a history lesson, such as Mr. Cuccinelli on this program. Thank you.
One of the things that you do when you see hate is you condemn it. The other thing that's just as important is to counter it. That's why we use civil discussion on this show. And I know you both want that when you're at your best. There is no need for anything other than that.
I'm still waiting for my apology for Mr. Cuccinelli for telling me to really shut up on national television.
The issue of the police being called on the Black women who were playing golf too slowly.
Oh yeah, I remember
too slowly.
That was
as
crazy.
if that's a crime.
But I don't think he does.
Let him answer for himself.
I'll apologize for shut up, and I'll accept her apology for interrupting
I don't have an
me
apology for
repeatedly
you.
and talking
All
over
right.
me and
I don't have an
misstating
apology
history.
for you.
But I think it's on the rise and people are emboldened in their supremacy. Listen, I think it goes right back to the same thing. It's not just Black bodies that are deemed violent. It's not just us that causes people to fear. When Donald Trump ran, he ran on white fear of them losing ground in some way. And those targets were on our back. Many of the things that Congressional Black Caucus members have said for years inside the party, whether we're talking about how they spend their money, the races they choose to support, the candidates they choose to support. There's issues blowing up right now about candidates who are great, who look like us. Stacey Abrams is a Black woman. She started something called the New Georgia Project to register all of the people in Georgia, to help register folks who were not registered. Over 200,000 people filled out applications to register to vote through her program. So Stacey Abrams' primary Democratic opponent is Stacey Evans. They ran a white Stacey who was electable against Stacey Abrams. So to me, it's like, okay, so what is electable looks like to you? It's white, right? It's somebody who's palatable. You decide what Georgia can and cannot handle, even though she spent all this time advancing the culture, making sure that our voices are heard. Democrats are going to have to reckon with black people for why our candidates are never electable. But we regularly win statewide. I give you Kamala Harris and Cory Booker. We've won. Congressional Black Caucus is telling them, or other elected leaders are telling them they can run and win statewide, that they begin to put their money where their mouths are. Progressivism in and of itself does not mean that you are free from racism. Right, white supremacy can absolutely go beyond party lines, and free thinking isn't throwing out random, unresearched, dangerous rhetoric that can end up causing us harm. You throwing out something to be sensational is just as dangerous as his president, who he claims and reps hard with the MAGA hat, too. Anyone that tries to come at Congresswoman Maxine Waters is going to have to deal with me. I don't like the stuff about, such and such is on a plantation. I don't like the slavery analogies. I try to steer clear from them. I'm not always successful. But I think it's very dangerous for us to use rhetoric that causes more of a divide. And he's a bully. Like, there's nothing free about someone who bullies people into supporting them.
A good discussion. When Chance the Rapper tweeted out, all black people don't have to be Democrats. Now, I wish he'd added more context to that.
Who said that all black people have to be Democrats? Like, no one was ever saying
That's
that.
always been a thing, though. Let's not act like that hasn't
No, but I do think that we need to differentiate between folks who have been good allies and supportive of black people within the party, as well as black Democrats who are carrying the weight. I just talked about this 1,200-page omnibus bill from the CBC. Well, it's not going to get considered because there are too many bigots in the House of Representatives. That's not true. Jesus loves Paris.
White Jesus.
That's so rude.
Now, what about people who feel like Donald Trump administration is doing some good things? They're saying the economy is good. They're saying
thanks, Obama.
They're saying that people are getting jobs now. What do you say to people who say, well, Donald Trump, he is a racist, but the economy seems like it's doing all right?
Well, I would say, how are we doing? These are Barack Obama's successes. These are the changes that he was making.
Because Barack Obama came into the White House with a lot of challenges, and it took some time to rebuild from that.
And so, yes, unemployment overall is in single digits. Black unemployment overall is in single digits. But when you go to some of our hardest hit communities, it's still double digits. The economy's doing better, but it's at the expense of our lives, which we're also still seeing. I don't know that that's good. Do not be fooled by somebody putting another Stacey on the ballot. The Stacey that got a B from the NRA, by the way.
What's her last name?
Stacey Evans.
Is the one.
Stacey Abrams.
That's the one. Which one are we rooting for?
Stacey Abrams with an A.
It's more than Stacey running for governor too, though. It's a lot of black governors this year, right? Andrew Gillum.
Andrew Gillum is also running in Florida. Their primary is in June.
Okay.
Andrew is phenomenal. Current mayor of Tallahassee. We had
him up here. Great guy.
And Collective PAC, again, is doing a lot of good work at recruiting minority candidates, people of color who are running, black folks who just want to make a difference. Fake news. It was Nikki Haley. Which you should know, South
all
Carolina.
All white women look alike.
Oh, my God. She's not even all white. Isn't her dad?
She ain't Native American. Yeah.
Is that you can't be impartial if you're all the way beholden to one interest. And it's time for us to stand up for ourselves, whether it's supporting ourselves, our own businesses, supporting black banks, as we talked about ad nauseum, supporting community organizations that do this work on the ground.
Is it not a double standard that black folks can say the N-word and it's in like black music?
How many things do white people have? There's this one word that black people took and used as a form of endearment, and it's ours. Let us have this one word.
Truth of the matter is the word is still poison. I've been striving not to use it for the past few years, but I can't help it sometimes. But the word is never really going to truly be a term of endearment.
Black people can't be racist.
Black women are so very often stereotyped in pop culture, but these stereotypes are more than lazy writing. They have long histories.
The only long thing in this video, love, is your face. You said earlier stereotyping in pop culture, but really what you meant to say was white people assume I know how to twerk just because they saw Nicki Minaj twerk in the movie Barbershop. It's okay for you to assume that most white people stereotype black people, but it's not okay for a white person to assume something about a black person. They're both fucking bad. However, the white people who do assume just because of your skin color that you can do certain things, aren't sitting there making a video indirectly attacking fucking black people.
So maybe we should just get fucking rid of them. And in 19th century America, the long-running stereotype of African women with large sexual appetites was often used by slave owners to justify rape. In fact, it was argued that it wasn't possible to rape a black woman because of that fabled sexual appetite.
You are fucking pathetic. You made this video intending to stop black stereotypes. You just told me that a lot of the 19th century slave owners used the black women like to shag a lot stereotype to justify rape. Yeah, because you telling people that in the 21st century is really going to make people stop using that stereotype. When for one, the slavery you're explaining isn't a thing anymore. Two, people don't look at a black woman and think, oh my god, there's my shag for tonight, because she's black. That's called fucking rape. And finally, why the fuck would slave owners have to justify what they do to their slave if they fucking own them, you dumb cunt?
Why are all white people being held accountable for things that other white people did? Racism, discrimination and prejudice towards people based on their race or ethnicity. Oh, that definitely sounds like racism to me.